really, really nice to know that my work over here is appreciated over there. So thank you very much.
Hello, Geek House Show. This is Hassan Mohammed, and I'm here with Sam Witwer. You know him from Smallville. You know him from, Super Girl, The Mask, and he's also the voice of Deacon St. John in one of the most amazing video games, Days Gone. And you know him, of course, as, Darth Maul from Star Wars. Sam, welcome to the Geek House Show. It's a huge honor to have you here with us, man.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a lot of fans here in the Middle East. You're going to meet them for the first time at Speedy Comics Con. How does it feel for you as an actor to know that you have such a following in this part of the world, that people from the Middle East love you and love the work that you do in the many different projects that you're in?
Well, I'll answer like this. It's surprising because I'll tell you why it's surprising. It's surprising because I don't really think of myself as particularly important. I mean, I'm important to myself. Sure, I'm important to me, but beyond that, that anyone cares what it is that I get up to is always a really wonderful surprise. So, thank you. I mean, that's really, really cool, and yeah, I don't know. It's definitely encouraging, considering the fact that when you're a performer, you get into this because you want to, in theory, entertain people. I've never cared particularly how big or small the audience is of whatever project I work on, so long as I enjoy the project. Having said that, when I learn that the audience is bigger than I thought, that feels really good. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're more than welcome, man. And come on, I mean, you're Darth Maul. You're also Deacon St. John, the Emperor. Don't forget your work on The Mask, Super Girl. I mean, you have a lot of amazing... Yeah.
The Darth Maul thing, I'll tell you, like, when I was doing Darth Maul for the Clone Wars, we were like a small cult thing. There were hardcore Star Wars fans that really liked what we were doing, and then everyone else kind of ignored us. And this is how I remember it. But we thought what we were doing was great, and we were doing George Lucas's stories. He'd show up and be like,
so there's these Night Sister witches.
We're like, this is amazing. We're gonna do witches, cool.
And Darth Maul comes back.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we're doing it. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
And you're doing it.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was so much fun because I am such a huge George Lucas fan. I'm a huge fan of his work, not just in Star Wars, but everything that he's done. So I thought it was really, really cool, but it was tiny. It was a little thing like this. So now, however, 12 years later, 10 years later, however long it's been, because I've been doing the character now for 12 years, I think.
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that. And now it's huge. It's big. Everyone wants to talk about it. I'm like, when did Clone Wars become big? I never thought. I always thought it was like our little private thing. I didn't know that it was this big international.
No, with the Star Wars Rebels, I mean, like everyone watches all around the world, and it's really an amazing show.
The next time you hesitate like that, it may cost you your life.
Speaking of that, you've also been in video games as well as Starkiller and in different. So as an actor, is it the same process voicing a video game versus voicing a TV animated show, or is it different?
It's quite different. With Force Unleashed, that was maybe the first time that they were using people's likenesses in the game model, game engine, So we were kind of pioneering that, and it was very early mocap for video games, and we were at Industrial Light and Magic. And I didn't feel like it was that different than what I'd been doing on camera, because there were other actors that I was working with and acting with. And we were doing scenes, and it just seemed like we were shooting stuff. Days Gone, jump ahead
amazing.
A decade, and it's like the technology has, I mean, it's so much more robust. And that was, I felt like we were just shooting I mean, we shot 5 hours worth of cinematics for that game. Now, the part that is like voiceover is later on with all the in-game dialogue. They have you in a booth and you're with a mic and you're doing all of this in-game dialogue, right? Oh, look out, Boozer, it's Deacon, come back, all that stuff.
Yeah, the Deacon out, stuff like.
Yeah. O'Brien, that whole thing. But the thing with, at that point, once you're in the booth, at least you've worked with these other actors, so you can kind of hear their voice in your head. But the 5 hours of cinematics was a shoot, as far as I was concerned. We were working with other actors. We looked like idiots because we were in these tight suits and had helmets, and we didn't look like bikers. We looked really goofy. But other than that, we were just shooting a TV show or a movie. And the cool thing with mocap is that if you get one good take all the way through, that's all they need. They do not need to set up for your shot, medium shot and the close up, and then we're going to do we're doing a master, and we do this, and we're doing that, and you're doing take after take after take. With mocap, you do takes until someone likes the whole take. They can put the cameras in later once that performance, your face and everything, your movement, once that's in the computer, they can sort of reshoot that. They have the performance they like, and now they can put the cameras wherever they want after the fact. So for the actor, it's a lot easier to be spontaneous. It's a lot because when you're on a set and you're doing a scene and you've done now the scene 23 times, you're trying your best to keep it really fresh. With mocap, you're going so fast and you're not doing it 23 times, maybe you're doing it 3 times. So you're just you're very spontaneous, you're very fresh.
No, it's okay. I mean, Days Gone is really amazing. I think it's one of the most underrated games of all time, honestly. A lot of people, luckily, are starting to discover it, and, because of this quarantine thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's interesting? It's the game has, in terms of the positives, there were all these metrics they try to figure out how well a game does. And part of that is sales and stuff like that. But apparently, one of the metrics that Days Gone has been just really doing well with is positive engagement on social media. Apparently Days Gone is way, way, way up there when it comes to people saying that they liked it on social media and talking about it long after it came out. So I
mean that secret ending gave me goosebumps, honestly. And so is there a chance for Days Gone 2, because PlayStation 5 is coming soon, and there are some rumors that there might be a second part. So without giving anything away, as an actor, do you think that there is a plan for a second part of this game?
You never know. You just never know about these things.
Hope you're right about your old lady, Deke. Gotta ask you something. What does it matter if everyone else is dead?
I also have a question regarding the Star Wars thing. That amazing theme, that amazing scene between Darth Maul and Kenobi in Rebels. How did you prepare for that scene? And was it inspired by Akira Kurosawa movies?
Yes. Okay. Most definitely. I remember Dave Filoni says to me, he goes, we're gonna do this last scene with you and Kenobi. And it's not going to be what you think. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, it's going to be that scene from Seven Samurai where that guy's freaking out and the guy's like, oh, you've already lost it. And the idea that we really wanted to hit home is the idea that we've always played with Maul, is that he doesn't learn from his mistakes. He makes the same mistakes over and over again, and that's why he's in this circle, this vicious circle that he leads his life in. And he's like Sisyphus. He pushes the rock up the hill, and then he slips right as it almost gets to the top, and it rolls all the way back down the hill, and then he's got to push the rock right back up the hill. Because he keeps trying the same things over and over again, he hasn't progressed in his life. And then on the flip side, you have Obi-Wan Kenobi, who has progressed. And we needed to show that. And so the way to show it was that Kenobi, I also think it was probably a way to justify the sword fighting in episode 4, because the sword fight in episode 4, they didn't know how they were going to do lightsabers, so they actually had hilts. They built these hilts that had a machine inside, and then the blade was wrapped in reflective tape, or reflective material. Was the same material you get in a movie screen that reflects light. And so this motor in the hilt would spin the blade, and so they couldn't really hit each other because they'd break the mechanism. They'd break the motors, you know what I mean? So they had to go, like, you know, they had to be very careful. And what is cool about the lightsabers in episode 4 is that it's the one movie where you can see the light of the lightsaber just kind of bouncing all over the frame. For example, when Vader is walking in and says, you know, "I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan." When he walks into the frame, the lightsaber leaves the frame on the lower part of the frame, and you can see the light still coming from it, even though it's out of frame. Anyway, all to say, obviously the choreography in episode 4 isn't as complex as it is in episode 5 or episode 1. So I think that Filoni came up with the really clever way of making that intentional, of being like, if you're truly a Jedi Master, you don't need to do a flip. You don't need to do all this fancy stuff. You don't need to engage in the violence. And the whole thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi is that he is no longer a general. That's not his thing. And he doesn't want to be a general. And the Jedi should never have been generals. So Obi-Wan is demonstrating that he's here to end this, hopefully through negotiation, but he's going to end it no matter what. And he's going to do his job as a Jedi Master. And so, yeah, he's become so good that he does not need to do a flip. He doesn't need to twirl this and that. He just goes bam, bam. That's it. And that's a very samurai thing. So we're very pleased that people locked into it, that they liked it. Because, you know, there was definitely a feeling of, are they going to like this? Is this, they're expecting a big knockdown drag out, and they get this shocking, you know, like, he's dead. Oh my God.
Right now, the Star Wars shows are very big. You know, The Mandalorian, we have the Kenobi show. Is there like a specific role that you would like to play in one of these TV shows? You know, Darth Maul, maybe. You know.
It really just depends on whether they need me or not. What I would not like to do is kind of force myself in because I'm friends with those guys, and I don't think that they would let that happen either. I don't think that's a big danger. But if they need me, I'm happy to help. You know, it's kind of that's always been the point of view that I've had with these Star Wars gigs, is like, do your thing, tell your story. I'm a fan. I just want to see what you guys are doing. I want to know what the story is. I want to know what's happening in that universe. And if you need me to fill something in for you, I'm happy to do it. And so, yeah, you know, it's been really fun.
We actually would like to see you in one of these shows some days. Hopefully this will happen.
You know, this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard.
Do you have any final message for your fans in the Middle East before they meet you at Speedy Comics Con, especially Geek House Show and Speedy Comics fans?
Yeah, just thank you so much for watching the stuff. It's really, really nice to know that my work over here is appreciated over there. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Really
and they also know that you are the Star Wars champion, you know, the trivia champion. So you are famous for that as well. You know, yeah. Well, Sam, this was really amazing. You know, we cannot wait to welcome you at Speedy Comics Con. We cannot wait for you to meet your fans in the Middle East there. So thank you for taking the time to do this interview, and see you very soon at Speedy Comics Con.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.